A project that could bring a glamping getaway to the Gallatin River is causing some issues with those who live nearby.
How safe is your car? I'm Elise Preston, and I'll tell you which automakers earned the top honor from the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety.
Just ahead of 6:30 on this Thursday, Chet Lehman, Matt Elwell with you here this morning. Matt, the situation we've been talking about, you've been literally talking about it since the end of last week, is this every other day kind of situation.
We are in a pattern where we're picking up just short little, not necessarily heavy waves, but weak waves of energy moving through about every other day, as you mentioned. Right. And this continues.
Right.
Today we're in the lull stage. We had a little light snow last night. Temperatures this morning is single digits and teens. We have been below zero in West Yellowstone earlier this morning, now sitting at around 10 degrees. One of our big issues for today, the possibility of a little patchy fog in the morning. There could be a few slick spots in a few of those sheltered areas from some of the light snow that was falling yesterday. But I think today is pleasant. Lots of sunshine. This is a great day to get outside and enjoy. Temperatures are going to be mild, not a ton of wind. Tomorrow, that begins to change. You see these temperatures back into the mid to upper 30s throughout the day today. Good chance that we'll see some snow developing overnight along with some wind. That's all coming up in just a few minutes.
Mental note, chisel that ice off my driveway today before
Get it done.
Adds to it tomorrow.
When you're done, you can help me.
Fair enough.
We'll
work
together.
There we go, 6:30. Our top local story this half hour, 3 people are now under arrest in connection with the death of a 12-year-old boy earlier this month. Gallatin County Sheriff's Office says all 3 are now charged with deliberate homicide. 12-year-old James Alex Hurley was killed on February 3rd just outside West Yellowstone. James Sasser Jr., Patricia Batts, and an unidentified male juvenile will have an initial court appearance at 10:30 this morning. Officials say the investigation in this case is ongoing. We will be continuing to follow up on this story for you both online and on air. Also, a Missoula police officer who came close to being shot yesterday is shaken up but okay this morning. However, his colleagues are still looking for the suspect who opened fire at his patrol car, forcing him to scramble for cover in a nearby building. It was a shooting which closed a major chunk of downtown Missoula for hours, putting the courthouse, city hall, and other public buildings on lockdown.
Well, you can imagine he was shot at this morning and he was a little shaken up. But thanks to his training, he was able to recover after the impact and the window shattering. He radioed for help and he sought immediate cover and prepared to deal with the threat. So thankfully he is not physically injured, but it may be something he's going to think about for a while.
Now the investigation into who the shooter was continues, but police don't have much to go on. Work includes tracking down any surveillance camera footage. Missoula police officers say they are thankful not only for the officer's safety, but support from Missoula County deputies, Montana Highway Patrol, and others, helping secure a very complicated scene.
The fact that it was in downtown Missoula during morning traffic certainly, made it complicated. And also the fact that we're talking about an area with a large number of buildings with several rooms, several vantage points that, if you think about a potential shooter, somebody rolling down the street is vulnerable at any time.
Now, Walsh says the department hasn't recovered a bullet yet, but is certain a shot was fired based on statements of the officer and initial witnesses. We'll continue to update that story as well online and on air. Meantime, a fire that gutted the Irish Times building in Uptown Butte last month was determined to be an accident. Butte Fire Department says it was an accidental electrical fire. Butte Fire Marshal Brian Doherty says the fire at 2 East Galena Street started in a storage area on the second floor of the building between Muddy Creek Brewery and the Post Bar. An investigation revealed the fire started near an ice-making machine by a pile of extension cords and a power strip. There were no injuries in that blaze. Also, 2 Democrats with their eye on Montana's governor's office took the stage last night at MSU Billings. Lieutenant Governor Mike Cooney and businesswoman Whitney Williams will face each other in the June 2nd primary. MTN's Jake Cohn was there and has our report.
Lieutenant Governor Mike Cooney and political newcomer Whitney Williams offered their proposals to voters tonight on how Montana can best tackle a myriad of issues moving forward, from health care access to education funding to jobs and the economy. On the health care front, both governor hopefuls warned that Montana's expanded Medicaid program is at risk.
The Trump administration just put out I think it was just last week, an idea about block grants for Medicaid. And we know what that will do to the coverage in Montana. It will make the coverage in Montana weak. It'll take coverage away from our citizens.
The legislative auditor is already ready to undermine it, and we have to elect a governor tough enough to stop them and stop the national Republicans from turning Medicaid expansion into a political football, which they are determined to do.
While Cooney stressed his experience and leadership alongside Governor Steve Bullock, Williams took issue with the Bullock administration's decision to cut millions from the state's mental health care programs.
30,000 people on Medicaid have taken advantage of mental health services. 14,000 have taken advantage of drug addiction services. That's progress.
When budget cuts were made in 2017, bad choices were made. I would have made different ones. As a result, our state's mental health system is upside down. And it's hurting kids, it's hurting families, and it's hurting communities.
Cooney concluded the forum focusing on his track record of fighting for issues that make a difference for Montana. Williams took direct aim at the candidate she believes will be on the opposite side of the ticket come November.
Greg Gianforte remains in the pocket of Big Pharma. He accepts thousands of dollars into his campaign fund from pharmaceutical companies, and in December.
Again, in other headlines this morning, controversy flowing along the Gallatin River when it comes to the future of possible glamping getaway and those living nearby. People living next to it say they're concerned for the Gallatin River's health. TN's Cody Boyer takes a look at both sides of this issue.
This has taken us totally by surprise that someone would want to do this.
Peggy Lehman and her husband Gordon have called this area along the Gallatin River a nature preserve for decades. They've also called it their home.
It goes all the way to the road, and we're his only neighboring surrounding landowner.
According to the Gallatin County Planning Department, project owners Jeff and Jarena File applied for a floodplain permit to start turning this chunk of land into a glamp ground, or glamour mixed with camping. But to Lehman and her neighbor Dick Shockley, who led me out to the site, that means wastewater services and a natural gas pipe under the Gallatin.
This is the river migration channel. This is where the river wants to breathe, back and forth.
I can't tell you enough. I'm a very green thumb. I'm an arborist of over 20 years.
So I reached out to Jeff File myself.
The view of our sewer and water services is no different than a full-scale subdivision.
File told me the utilities would power 37 walled canvas tents and 20 Conestoga wagons, but the contention, File says he didn't expect.
We feel very proud that we are bringing something to the community that is extremely low impact, that emphasizes on conservation.
File says he's worked with the DEQ and the Gallatin County Planning Department, along with Northwestern Energy, and is still working to get all of the necessary environmental permits.
I respect everybody that opposes this. The concern they have is the preservation of the environment, which I also love and cherish.
But for Lehman and Shockley, they want the public to listen and speak up.
He has property rights, and I would like to see him be able to develop a modest little camp facility for fishermen and so forth, but not 57 units.
In Gallatin County, Cody Boyer, MTN News.
Cody tells us Gallatin County Planning Department accepting public comments until next Tuesday, which is February 18th. In other headlines this morning, the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety is out with its list of the safest vehicles. Elise Preston picks up the story.
To earn a top safety pick, vehicles must perform well in 6 different crash tests. The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety also measures roof strength and evaluates whether headlights provide good vision. This year, 64 vehicles earned a top safety pick award, 7 more than last year, and 23 received the highest honor of Top Safety Pick Plus.
It is an encouraging sign, particularly since we raised the bar a little bit this year.
IIHS President David Harkey says vehicles had to meet a higher standard in crash tests. They also were required to have pedestrian detection systems that can prevent an accident. Of all the automakers, Mazda took home the most Safety Pick Plus awards with 5. Subaru had 4. GM's Cadillac was the only U.S. car company to earn the top award.
I do think that vehicles are as safe as we've ever seen them.
But Harkey says car makers can do even better.
I think the biggest thing that we would like to see an improvement on is headlights.
He would like to see top-performing headlights become standard on all vehicles, giving drivers a better chance at avoiding an accident in the first place. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
By the way, Hyundai had 8 models that earned a Top Safety Pick award. 3 were given the Top Safety Pick Plus. Interesting. 6:39 now. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we have the latest in the coronavirus outbreak from around the globe, including its effect on an international tech show. But before the break, let's head to New York, check in what's coming up at 7 o'clock on CBS This Morning.
Good morning. Ahead on CBS This Morning, China's single-day death toll in the coronavirus outbreak surges, and the total number of people infected globally rises to more than 60,000. Now, the deadly disease is affecting U.S. companies and consumers. Plus, only on CBS This Morning, how one family's heartbreak is fueling a new call for drivers to put down their phones behind the wheel. And in our Eye on Earth series, we go underwater with great white sharks to see how tourism is helping protect the vulnerable species. All that's coming up when we see at 7.